grace and peace. Welcome to another episode of the TBT Show. I'm Anthony Moten. My friend and brother, partner in crime, as always, is the Right Reverend Shawn P. Aguilar. For kicks and giggles, we're going to do it this week. Shawn, how are you?
Better than I deserve. Better than I deserve.
He's going to give us the always better than I deserve. Hey, we're going to keep asking him. One week we're going to get the E-True Hollywood story. Good to be with you guys another week. So much going on in our country, in our world, in the landscape of who we are. Some of these things that we'll jump into this week are par for the course, but some of them I believe have a great impact on who we are as a society. And so we'll get started with this very first one, which is relatively fresh. Just was released last night, I believe. Matter of fact, I'm still kind of going through some of the details of them. I mean, is he still the owner of the Phoenix Suns, or is he?
That's my whole problem with the situation. Is that you have someone that is the owner of a team. Two teams, actually.
Right.
The NBA team and the WNBA team. Okay. And you're fining him $10 million. I understand. That's a maximum penalty.
Right.
But then you're suspending him
for a year.
From something that he owns. So all you're doing is saying, hey, bud, you can't show your face around here. Now, you can still collect the check. You can still reap all the benefits of ownership. Just don't show your face around here. Don't show your face around the stadium. You can't show up into any official event. So his suspension
is basically don't come around.
Don't come around.
But he's still officially the owner.
He owns it. Yeah. Now, this is very different than the what was his name? Sperling.
Right.
You know, with the Clippers.
Right.
Where they force him to sell.
Right.
So, and some commentators have said that that's mainly due to this story is just not getting as much attention. It's not as salacious because the other one you had, this.
But it's still okay. Well, so for those that don't know, Robert Sarver is his name. He's the owner of the Phoenix Suns, the WNBA franchise. The NBA franchise Phoenix Suns, and the WNBA franchise, the Phoenix Mercury. And they did an investigation because of some accusations that were made. They did an investigation and discovered that he used the N word several times.
At least 5 times. So somehow they went through and counted up that it was at least 5 times.
At least 5. And really there's no way.
And he's owned the team for 17 years.
And I think those 5 times were via text or email or something.
I'm not sure about
because I guess there's no way to tell how many times he said it
verbally unless he was recorded. But they're saying, because they had a law firm investigate this.
Right. And the investigation's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I think 10 months.
Yeah.
Because this was announced that the investigation, this is just the sentence.
Right.
This is the final answer.
Right. So that the using the N word and then some misogynistic because again, I haven't either they haven't scripted out exactly what, or they haven't gone into details. They said some employment strategies that were misogynistic. So either he kept women out of certain.
Well, no, even beyond that, just like comments. Like he made comments, that were what they said racist and misogynistic. And my deal is there. I got a bunch of.
I'm confused.
I got a bunch of issues with this whole thing.
Okay.
First of all,
maybe you can help me because I'm confused.
First of all, I feel like if you are going to go after this guy that's a multimillionaire that's owned the team for 17 years, I personally automatically assume that you've said the N word a bunch of times.
That's why I'm confused.
I automatically assume that, hey, this, person that hails from the Caucasus Mountains, okay?
the mountains of Caucasus.
Right, exactly. And so he has, come down, through that lineage, and and I'm not sure where his wealth comes from, but obviously anyone that owns a sports team, they became wealthy in business or by inheritance or whatever in order to have the majority share of the team. Does that make sense?
Right. Well,
no one bootstrapped a team. Does that make sense? Where they just started a team.
So here's, before you finish, here's my thing. Even with that, we know some, and I'm saying we know. I know of some wealthy people that are still locked out of that arena to purchase teams, both NFL and
because
NBA,
of past
because
issues.
that's the good old boy club.
So I like the way I want to say, I can't remember if it was a show or a movie, but there's a scene where somebody talks about owning a sports franchise is how we knight people in America.
Right.
You can be called sir, this or that. It's like, hey, this is this recognition of your level of success, so on and so forth.
Right.
In the United Kingdom, in the United States, the way that you are in that club is that you're given the opportunity to buy a sports franchise.
Right. So, matter of fact, we can probably name 2 or 3 owners that are not in the good old boy club.
I mean, you got Mark Cuban,
and that's it, and that's the name.
Mark Cuban is,
and I'm still wondering, like, how did Mark Cuban get in? And maybe
I think it's because he was adjacent. Because he got these big deals. Yahoo bought out some of his early internet projects, and they were kind of sports focused. So he's in that realm, and he probably promised that he was going to be a good little boy. Yeah, and then as soon as they gave him the keys, he's tearing it up.
And seeing that, so maybe it's my naivete. 97% of sports team owners, I would assume, have used the N word
and a bunch of other words.
Occasions.
And here's the deal. And also, I'm not, naive enough to think that that's the only racial slur that they use. I'm pretty sure they've run the gamut. So I'm not particularly sensitive because I'm sure this dude has rattled off, depending upon who he's upset with at the time, whatever their ethnicity is, insert that racial slur, and that's what it is.
We disagree. Look, we disagree on what I believe their viewpoint is with WNBA teams. They want them to do well up until a certain point because most of them.
Yeah, we definitely disagree on that.
Yeah, but because I feel like most of them are.
I mean, they're
misogynistic.
I agree with you to the point that they wanted to do well because there's an economic incentive. But the point is, I would want if you own the Phoenix Mercury, wouldn't you want them to do well?
Okay, if you need the money.
Well, he doesn't need the money, but he still wants them to do well.
Most of them, that's how you get in the good old boy club,
buddy,
though.
It's a game. This money is just how they keep score. This is all a game. The business part of it is just, I'm not talking about basketball. The business of it is a game. It's just, hey, let me see how high a score I can get. Once you're multi-millionaire, hundreds of millions of dollars, how much difference is there between the guy with 100 million and 1 billion?
Okay. This has nothing to do
how much of their lifestyle is different?
Okay. This has nothing to do with nothing. But I'm going to just ask, and we can get back to this, because they only fined him for what they knew that he was already doing. But again.
And that's the maximum.
Okay. So here's my question. In the hands of someone else, do you believe the WNBA can be more productive?
Of course.
That's my point. So
but it won't be.
But because it's this good old boy club.
No. But here's the deal. We have a fundamental difference on why the WNBA is not successful. My deal, could you get someone that's a better marketer of the WNBA? Yes.
Okay.
Right. Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. It's still the WNBA.
It doesn't matter.
No, it totally matters, because the problem is that when you have a business, this is sports and entertainment. Okay? Sports, you're shaking your head.
Because I already hear it. I know it's coming.
Sports and entertainment.
Okay.
Okay? Someone has to have a good experience to come back and be a repeat or referral customer.
Okay. God rest his soul. But you put the WNBA in the hands of someone like a Kobe Bryant, and it does exponentially better.
Well, that's not a high bar to clear. Exponentially better than what it is? You're still not there.
Okay.
So
you put it in the hands of someone like a
10x
Kobe,
is still bad.
LeBron.
I think Kobe, I mean,
you make them owners, and the players now become millionaires.
No.
It happens, bro. No. I'm telling you.
It happens.
I'm telling you.
I know you'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. That'd be great. But I'm just telling you, it's not in the cards.
It would happen. It would happen. I'm telling you.
I'm reading the writing on the wall. I mean, I'm seeing the hand.
Okay.
And, it's not there.
Are you trying to visualize it?
It's not there.
I'm saying the cap. I believe that the NBA can do it. Like the cap for most of these leagues is because they're run by old racist white guys.
I get it, but I think the WNBA has a deeper problem than that.
I don't think so.
The deeper problem is that the games are not entertaining.
Okay. Would it be on the par with the NBA? Of course not. But would the selling,
that's the measurement.
Okay, so would the selling be better than what it is now?
Yeah, you can get it. Yeah, you could get it better.
Would they be? We're talking about the difference between, right now it's 150. I'm talking about it would be 190.
You think that a WNBA game
absolutely do
is at 50
right now?
If the NBA is 100, you think that a WNBA, the experience. Now I'm trying to bring this to the level of a product.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's what matters economically, business-wise. This is what matters.
Okay, maybe that's it.
You're talking about, they got so much passion. They can have all the passion in the world. You see what I'm saying? All the
game, though. Like,
I've seen them.
The product is, it's what hurts. I think because the product is what's hurting the game.
If you make a better mousetrap, the world will beat down a path to your door. If you have a great product and people know about it, they will go find it. But the people have decided that they don't want the product.
Okay, major derail, but I'm telling the product.
Now the people can decide that they want it, but here's the deal. And Bill Burr talked about this. Bill Burr, who is a white comedian,
right,
married to an African-American woman, right, a black woman. So he does in I think it's his most recent special, but he talks about how women have let down the WNBA. You're not going to your own game. It's your thing.
But okay.
And you're not going and supporting your own thing.
So that's just like saying men are the only ones that are going to go to NBA games. That's not the case. I don't
Correct. It's not the case. That's the point. The point is that it's not the case. It's because the interest level is beyond male and female because it's the best. It's the best product available. People have a choice in terms of spending their dollar, how they're going to entertain themselves. They can go to a movie. They can go bowling. They can go to an NFL game. They can go to an NBA game. They can go to NCAA football, NCAA basketball. They can play darts. They can do whatever it is that they want. People decide with their dollars. They vote with their feet and their finances. And people are not coming to nor paying for these games.
And we can also help them vote.
You can.
And I believe.
But do you think, let me ask you this.
I believe ownership hasn't done a good job in helping them vote because we've seen it better.
Not fighting you on that, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
What percentage of the population do you think knows the WNBA exists?
That's the problem. It used to be better.
No. What percentage of the population do you think knows the WNBA exists?
A very small percentage.
A very small percentage?
Exist. Wait, okay, you tell me when the next WNBA game is coming on.
Couldn't tell you.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Couldn't tell you.
They don't market it well. They don't present it well.
But here's the deal. If I wanted to know, I can find out.
Okay.
Right here at my fingertips is a little startup company. You may not have heard of them. It's a little website called Google.com.
Say, man.
WNBA.
Okay, we're gonna get back to this, but I have seen more footage on the Lakers getting ready for a season that hasn't come yet than I have on a WNBA season that's at mid-stride right now.
Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know?
That tells me they're not trying. Bro,
do you think that it's not that they're not trying, or do you think that they see a small, if any, return on their investment?
Okay.
I'm in business and I come from that world. So that's how I look at it. I look at it as, at the end of the day, take anything away about it, okay? You have a product that's not selling. Flat out. When you boil it down, you take gender out of it, you take owners out of it.
That's my point. That's why he's in trouble right now.
They're not moving the units.
Okay.
They're not doing the numbers.
So they're proving that this just proves.
Okay, so tell you what, why don't you call Oprah? She's got plenty of money. Tell her to buy a team and make it happen.
Do you think they would let Oprah buy a team? That's my point. They would not.
They would let Oprah buy a team.
They absolutely would not.
100% they let Oprah buy a team.
This proves they would not. It's the good old boy club. She's not a good old boy.
Bro, she's Oprah.
But she's not a good old boy. If that's the case, do you think, okay.
They let Michael Jordan on the team. They were not going to let Oprah on the team.
Michael Jordan is not a good example. Please don't make me
I'm just telling you.
He's bought by the system. You don't want me to go into why. Please don't make me go into
that's all a bunch of... But Oprah's not part of the system? She's part of the world system.
No, she's not bought by that system, no. But okay,
bro.
Major derail. Major derail. Y'all gonna see me jump across this table.
Oprah's not bought by the system. Oprah is the system.
Okay, wait.
Her network's called OWN.
Okay, do you remember Puffy tried to buy a NFL team?
No.
He tried to buy, I believe, the Carolina Panthers, I believe.
Okay.
And he put together
a consortium. Sure.
To help him.
Sure, yeah.
It doesn't, they want...
Bill Gates, Donald Trump, let me in now. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to let him in. I get that part. But what I'm saying is that the business case is the larger issue. I feel like you think that the larger issue is that it's not properly managed and marketed. And I agree.
Okay.
I concede that point, sir.
Okay.
My problem is that after you do all the remodel, after you do the extreme makeover, and after you do all that, you're still left with the same product.
Okay.
And the same product, you do the marketing
push. It will not be the same
You do
outcome.
this, you do that.
I think it'll be a little bit
relatively
better.
The same.
I think it'll be better.
By the time you net out what you spent, it'll be a very minimal difference, because at the end of the day, they have the arenas. They have the professional staff. What WNBA team is playing in a high school gym?
A lot of them.
What WNBA team is playing? I gotta see this right now on the Google machine.
Please do it. Because we just talked about this last time. I told you when the comments ended, they were not playing in the same arena that the Rockets were playing. They were playing in the Astro Arena.
It's still an arena.
It's
in the name. It says arena.
But
they're not playing in a high school gym. They're not playing at a college.
No, because most high school gyms are bigger than Astro Arena.
I don't know what high school you went to.
I'm telling you. Look,
sorry, I went to private school. We didn't have a big gym like y'all.
I'm trying to tell you. If the owner of a franchise is, is racist, which has been proven, and misogynistic, which has been proven, then yeah, there's going to be a certain capacity, because he doesn't want to see women and black.
Here's the deal:
well.
there is a motive that is stronger than racism, and a motive that's stronger than misogyny. Money. Once
he has it already,
right? But he wants more. Here's the deal. When people get rich, it's not about more money. It's about power.
Okay. To prove that so to prove
You see what I'm saying?
That I believe that it's less about money.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what because he helped with this investigation.
He cooperated.
And they said the only pushback he gave them was not even the $10 million.
No, he don't care about that.
Because he doesn't care about money. The suspension.
He didn't even care about the suspension.
His only pushback was the suspension.
He only pushed back on the suspension because that was a bridge to a forced sale. Here's the deal. It's not just about Sarver. Okay, it's not just about sunset for Sarver here. What you got to understand is that Adam Silver is the commissioner of the league. He works for the owners.
Right.
He is essentially a glorified arbitrator.
Right.
So all the owners get together, and in the undocumented portion of owner meetings, at the lunch table, whatever, man, what do we do about that? Look, here's a problem. If you force this guy to sell, then what happens whenever somebody else goofs up? Now they got to sell.
But that has already been broken by the Clippers, by the guy.
Right, but he was obviously no one liked him.
Here's what I would love to see.
Because if he had some real friends, the other owners would not have let that happen. They allowed it to happen to him for whatever reason. Maybe he wasn't well liked. Maybe they figured, hey, at his age, who cares?
Right.
He's done anyways, right?
Right.
So it was a convenient toss some red meat, to keep the huddled masses from,
right.
uprising, right? You see what I'm saying? Because that's the great fear. The great fear in this whole situation is that the common people will rise up, the players will rise up, the coaches will rise up.
And that's what I would love
they're
to
afraid.
See.
But you won't.
I would love to see someone like a LeBron.
Yeah,
who's the name in the NBA, the figure of the NBA, which the money, who's the first athlete to
he
make
could,
a deal,
but he won't.
To say, hey, listen,
right?
Let's create our own, they were close to even decide. He mentioned it. I think in the bubble, let's just make our own league. Like they represent 98% of the league. They all play for racist owners and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just make
modern day plantation.
Let's just make our own league.
Right.
And this kind of stuff is going to keep happening until the people that actually run the league, the players, decide enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody says that until it's time to write a check. That's the problem, is that it's good to say that in terms of rhetoric, but what is I know this is a word that nobody likes to hear, infrastructure, organization. You see what I'm saying? To put this together, where is that? That's the only reason that you need these guys is because they provide a check. They provide infrastructure.
Hey, look, and he's not my great, my greatest guy either. But Ice Cube showed us it's possible. He took a bunch of old retired guys and did the 3-on-3 or whatever
the big
it's called,
three or something like that.
Yeah. It's possible. If you could do it at that level, you can add some pieces to it and do it at a greater level. It's possible.
I agree.
We just got to start thinking outside the box.
But possibility and probability are two very different things.
Or keep submitting to owners like this.
Hey, I'm saying that this guy should have had to force to sell it. I'm saying this is too light. This is too light.
Okay. So we agree.
If we're gonna keep it even, Steven,
right?
Because if you kick out, was it Sterling or Sperling?
Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
Sterling. Yeah.
So if it was good for the goose, as they say in the country, was good for the goose.
It's good for the gander.
It's good for the gander.
Okay. So here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do it to Sterling, you do it to Sarver, then what is to be done? Look, my favorite franchise, y'all know it, my favorite franchise, the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones dog, come on. He's racist.
Of course he is.
He's like, what? So what do we do?
But he's nice, though.
He's a nice racist.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, okay. So at some point, are you going to force everyone to sell? Or are you just going to say, hey, look, you keep your, and we're going to take our ball and go home.
We'll do it. But here's the problem. That all sounds great when it comes to rhetoric. Okay, but not everybody gets paid like LeBron James. Not everybody's got money stacked up like Kyrie Irving. Does that make sense? So for the guy that rides the pine, okay, that makes, $300,000 a year, that if he wasn't in the NBA would have no type of knowledge, skill, or ability to generate $300,000 worth of income any other way.
Okay,
yeah,
but,
man,
it'll happen though. That's
job stability.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it'll happen. Whoever spits out the money is coming back. Because again, when you represent 98% of a league that's making millions and millions and millions of dollars, whoever spits that, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Well, I mean, I think that they should. The NBA is usually the most sensitive and of the major leagues when it comes to race.
Of the two racist leagues, it's the less racist. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
right.
So, and they tend to be much more sensitive and kind of react a little more to these type of things than, say, MLB or NFL.
Right.
But you see the same disparity across all three leagues. If we just look at the three major ones, you have basically the same amount, percentage-wise of owners of a particular race, coaches of a particular race,
the good old boy,
players of a particular race.
Baseball may be the little different because of the international.
Little bit different.
Yeah.
Little bit, but how many, there's still a very small percentage of black general managers.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, as far as players, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, the players, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The players,
baseball alone.
To me, the players is not even worth discussing because it's a meritocracy. It's all about who can perform the best.
Right.
No one's saying, hey, kid, just because you're someone's kid, you can be on this, basketball team.
Right.
You have to be able to perform.
Right.
Nepotism doesn't work.
Right.
In performance-based environments.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the players are not even worth discussing in terms of their, what ethnicity, of player, because if you're the best, you're the best and you make it. If you're not, then you're not and you don't.
Well, I mean, and I'm saying, and I bring that up because, if he used the N-word, if every N-word decided, I'm not going to play for the Suns tonight, then who plays?
The water boy? I don't know.
Because
I get
the whole team is nothing but N-words.
But here's the deal, though. But here's the deal. No one in the Phoenix Suns organization has made any waves yet. Not one player, not one coach.
Because
Because here's the deal. The suspension is only for a year.
So what happens after this 12 months?
So what do? Strut around for a year and then immediately you're fired as soon as the guy comes back?
Right.
So the problem is that because it's just a year, there's no, everybody has to make a political calculation. It's like, well, hey, this guy's still my boss, right? And even though he may not be able to fire me, he'll send somebody else to fire me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And even if he doesn't fire me, I'm not going to high five this dude.
Right.
Knowing what's in his heart.
But the thing is that all the other guys, they just ain't got caught yet.
Because we know that's what I'm saying.
But here's the deal. We can't arrest everybody for being an idiot. Who would be left?
But we can choose with idiots.
But my deal is that he should have been more careful. He should be, number one, in business and in economics and all different stuff, will not solve the heart issue of racism and misogyny. Right. So that's not the arena of what will fix it. He needs to go to church. Plain and simple. Right. He needs to
either it won't happen or he's already a deacon.
Right. One or the other.
Right.
One or the other.
Right.
So
right.
But what I'm saying, he needs a heart change. He needs to be transformed in the sense of so that he's not thinking in a racist fashion. But if we separate from that, say, okay, yes, of course, we pray that he would come into the knowledge of Jesus Christ, from a spiritual level. On a practical level, you would think that someone that is a multi-millionaire that knows how to behave themselves, knows how to act in certain circumstances, understand that you're a public figure, even in private.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So even though you're inside your walls, the walls can talk.
Man,
the walls can record now. You know,
and we're saying careful. These dudes don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Like,
well, it's always because let me put it like this. Would you say that we have a big problem with theft in America? You've heard the San Francisco. You know, they're running in and just with impunity, stealing out of Walgreens and CVS because the laws, you know, all that different stuff. But if you go to some of these countries to do the same thing, if you go to Saudi Arabia and you steal from the CVS or their version of it, a soda. They got people in San Francisco, you know, all over California, they're stealing stuff and nothing happens to them. Do you know what happens? Do you know what the punishment is for theft in Saudi Arabia? The amputation of the offending hand. If there was a greater punishment, they would act right. Very simply, they don't have anything to fear. The commissioner is their buddy. The commissioner works for them. And then basically you have all these owners, they all got each other's back until you do something so stupid that becomes public that you endanger the whole enterprise. So then they got to choose, is it worth you or the enterprise?
Right.
So in this case, they said, it's worth it. We'll keep him. This will blow over. With Sterling? No.
Right. Right. Right.
But the problem is these guys aren't getting their hands cut off. They're getting their hands slapped.
Right. Right.
So what does that mean? Oh, right. 10 million?
Right.
Ah,
right.
I got plenty of that.
Right.
No problem.
Right. That's a vacation.
Yeah. So like, I don't have to I don't have to come into the office. I don't have to show up at these public appearances you probably didn't want to go to. This dude just turned off all his alarms. He's sleeping in. Because everything's already on autopilot anyways. He's got other businesses that made him wealthy enough to even be in the position to own a sports team. And now basically you said, hey, bro, give me some money and you can't come in the office for a year. After that, nobody's going to care. You can come back. That's what happened.
And this is, this is ridiculous and sad, but,
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, whenever you have a system that excuses bad behavior, as long as you have enough money, this is what you're going to continue to get.
Right.
But if the same thing happened to a player that makes $250,000
right.
versus this guy, you have, it's different if you make 250,000 and 250 million. You can do the same thing, but you get a different result.
See, and that's what I don't like about the league and the standard.
I mean, that's beyond the league and the standard. That's America. That's the world system.
Yeah. Yeah.
But see, if you go to Saudi Arabia and you pull your hand away with some fruit without paying for it, you're out of there.
Well, I'm saying expressly the NBA, and again, this is a highly fined league, right? Mm-hmm. So they fine for everything. Mm-hmm. If you're Reggie Miller and you do the choking,
but it's the same as if you fined us $100. Yeah. Hey, you said something bad on the podcast. Give me $100. All right, bro. Here you go. Yeah. See you next week.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe $20, depending upon some of these guys.
100 for you.
No.
It'd be 10 for me.
No.
Yeah. No. My pockets that deep like that. But I mean, again, I get it. That's the frustration, but it exposes that the ugly thing that we thought was dead still exists in our country, and there's a lot of people that are openly racist, and then you got guys like this that are, closet until it's exposed. So the next thing is kind of trivial. Actually, it's kind of old. I'm just kind of we
don't have to talk about it. I just had it on there.
Oh no, I mean, he still has some. And I'm saying it's trivial.
I think it brings up. I think it highlights some interesting things about our society. I think it really does. I think it highlights some things about the dynamics between men and women.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So let's throw it out. So RayJay's back in the news, and this is the only way he would be in the news. Cause he,
you ain't seen a Raycon commercial? Raycon? You know,
ain't nobody. Them things don't hardly work. Okay. The last time I saw RayJay was on the TSU show. But anyway.
Okay.
So RayJay's back in the news. Apparently, Kris Jenner did some show where she took some lie detector tests.
James Corden.
Yeah, and they said that it was fraud. I don't know if it was fraud or not. They said it was fraud. She did a lie detector test saying she had nothing to do with the sex tape between RayJay and Kim Kardashian.
Well, James Corden, the host, asked, "Did you help her with the tape?"
Right.
And she said no. And oh, what a surprise. You know, the lie detector agrees with her.
Right.
Now, you think that wasn't arranged prior? Come on,
of course. Man. So RayJay hits social media and starts pulling out all these receipts.
The receipts.
Contracts and whatnot, messages, even DMs, kind of blows up social media to the point where Kim even blocks him, gets so bad, whatever. But he pulls out all these receipts. And here's why I say it was trivial. Because we already knew Kris Jenner was involved. And I'm saying we knew. Maybe
I don't think everybody knew.
Not in fact, but
most likely.
The assumption, right,
most likely.
Right. It's almost like, right.
Yeah, most likely.
Or most of the owners in the league racist. It's like,
right. Probably.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Probably. So he pulls out all these receipts, creates this issue. Now, I'm dying to hear what dynamic you feel like it exposes.
Well, I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, it does nothing new, but I would say it highlights it.
Like what?
Well, I mean,
because again, I think that whole Kardashian clan, they're not from Earth. So I mean, so how does these aliens help expose what to?
Well, here's the deal. So RayJay, first of all, he's in his feelings because Kim K left him on red. Apparently, he tried to reach out to her after Pete Davidson was out the picture, and she left him on red. And so I think that was the impetus behind. He was trying to get back with her, trying to get back with his old girlfriend. Okay,
RayJay got a lot going on too, but anyway, okay, go ahead.
But here's the thing: what RayJay now realizes as a older man what happened and how he got used. He got used in a hypergamous scheme in an attempt to set up Kim Kardashian for future suitors and for future fame. This was done. This sex tape was done. And apparently, according to reports, Kris Jenner watched several
and said this was the best one
of the sex tapes between the two of them and said this is the one where you look the best. Now, but can you imagine?
One, again, they're not from Earth.
They're not from Earth.
That's weird and on every level. But here's okay. So here's my frustration with RayJay, because at the time
you were down for it because it's like, hey, and I'm getting paid to do this.
And you were the household name.
At the time.
But
this is the cold, hard truth that RayJay now realizes, looking back 20 years, whatever, is that, bro, you put her on, but she rocketed past you.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying?
Which was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm saying which was going to happen anyway.
But I think he just realized how it happened. I think he just realized he got played.
So here's why I say it's trivial, because RayJay's decline was based on more than just this.
Right. Well, I'm talking more about this highlights how some modern women move.
Right. Up on the and I get it. But RayJay's greatest enemy
is himself.
Is RayJay.
Right.
And even when he got breaks, he destroyed his own breaks. So Willie Norwood
Willie Norwood
would have to look in the mirror.
Willie, I think it's Raymond Norwood Jr. Yeah.
Would have to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
To like, I mean, because again, these kids were, and I'm saying, you know, both him and his sister were.
Why is he talking to her mom? I don't understand. I get that she played this role, and I get that they set him up, and he feels like, hey, it's like, bro, y'all were doing dirt in the first place, number one. Yes, it's completely jacked up the role that she played, but she saw an opportunity for her daughter to come up out from being Paris Hilton's assistant to being a multimillionaire, possibly a billionaire, depending upon how you count or when you count.
Right.
So this is a calculated move because right around the time that the tape was released, she was getting her first little reality show when she was way, way down on the totem pole. So now you get all this interest coming in like a runway and then she comes on, does the whole reality show thing, victim mentality, blah, blah, blah.
And they've done all of life like that.
And then it's like, oh, brand deal, this, blah, 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 and it just steamrolled. But you were the first step on a stairway of black men that these women have used
to make their pockets larger. Here's what I'll even go to far as say, and I've said it before, I'll go as far as to say, I don't believe the issue with her and Kanye is as bad as it looks to us, as much as it is promotion for what she's going to do next.
Yeah.
I don't think Chloe and what's
Haley?
The boy that played for and I'm saying Chloe, whatever the other sister name, and the boy that played for the
Lamar Odom?
The one that just played for the Cavaliers when LeBron took him to the championship.
Oh, I don't know.
The sister that just had the baby for him, Tristan Thomas.
I don't call him Tom that close.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Tristan, apparently she had a baby for Tristan.
Okay.
He caught him messing around.
Mm-hmm.
They broke up.
Okay.
Got back together. Had another baby. Caught him messing around. It's like, on what planet does that happen? All of that is pointed to something else because her last name is Kardashian. Like everything to them, everything is pointed to something else.
Well, yeah, because they are playing chess. They're playing chess, not checkers.
Their whole life is about the next move. So again, it's like, you know, RayJay started putting out these contracts. It's like I knew about the contract, had never seen it.
Right.
Didn't really know it.
Right.
But I knew it.
But you sold it. I mean, that's apparent. Now, the thing is the revelation may have been, okay, it's a fact that Kris Jenner was involved, but we knew y'all two did it. And we know y'all two did it for profit. You didn't know she also did it for clout, and she was going to leave you as soon as it was done.
Right.
That's the part you didn't know when you signed up for it.
I wasn't surprised by Kris's involvement.
No, I'm not surprised by it. What I'm saying is confirmed. Yeah, now it's like, okay, hey, you don't have to, it's no longer conjecture. It's confirmed.
Right.
You know.
That whole family.
Right.
They're not from Earth.
Well, buddy, anytime that you have a man that wins Woman of the Year.
Hey, they're not from, everything means something else. They're not from Earth. Hey, bro, they're not from Earth. So, I mean, I feel for RayJay. Hey, you got, you got, bro. Yeah, you got the short end of this stick, but just look over the course of your life. How many other people have walked away with the short end of a stick after having some involvement with you? Or how many times have you got the short end of the stick because you gave yourself
and he still he still got paid.
Yeah.
You just didn't get paid as much as you thought you should. And you feel like maybe now you look back on youthful indiscretions and it's embarrassing to you because now you're trying to be, you know, a grown man. You were a young man. Right. Now you're a man.
But at the end of the day, you're still who you are. We've always known you to be. You're Brandy's brother.
You're Brandy's brother.
Period.
That stings.
And that's
but it is what
the truth.
It is what it is.
You're Brandy's brother.
You are Brandy's brother.
That's it. So
yeah. But you know, just as a PSA, marry before you carry. Please avoid all this. This is not the right way to go about conducting you know, life and relationships, because obviously both of these two look back and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
what happened here? Now, you know, they have a level of affluence and money, but you know, if that's not there, then and you take that away, this could have been a lot messier.
Right.
If you strip away prestige, money, celebrity, and you just have somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, and somebody's son,
which happens in less affluent neighborhoods, you know, all the time outside of contracts. I'm just saying, you know, and that's why, and you know, in that light, I guess I see what you're saying. Like, you know, it does highlight, you know,
and you know, I would just and also just to you know, for the young men,
right,
that are trying to decide in the relationship market, the dating market, you know, who to deal with and so on and so forth. It's like, man, you got to recognize the red flags.
Right.
And whenever you have somebody that's supposed to be for you, that's rushing you to sign contracts,
right,
that's wanting you to do things that are immoral, you know, things of that nature, these are red flags.
Right. And,
you know, and when you go to the beach, when you see the red flag, what does it mean? Don't get in the water.
Don't get in the water. And to young women.
Don't
let all of your connections be genuine. And don't have
Kim Kardashian as your model.
Right. And don't have a connection based on where someone is and what they have at the time.
Right.
Let all of your connections be, you know, because
that can change.
Concern, right? Because that
good or
things,
bad,
right? Those things can always get better, but those things can also get worse. So, you know, let your connections be genuine. So again, you know, in that perspective, I see how, you know, for you how it highlighted that, because again, it happens.
Right.
You know,
and I just feel like, you know, in a larger context, in terms of, you know, the celebrity world and so on and so forth, there's a bunch of drama, but I think there's some things that we can look at in terms of, hey, look at how destructive this is, and for young men and young women to not look at these people as models, because I'm sure that, oh, they look so cute 20 years ago, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Look at them now.
Right.
You know, look at the situation now. Both of them have, you know, problems that they got to deal with.
Absolutely.
You know, so on and so forth, as do everybody. But they had the opportunity, and also for parents, because, you know, Kris Jenner should not have been in that position, counseling them to not just walk, but run, jump headlong into error.
Sell your moral fiber and again, it's just, you know, no matter.
And now today's Kim K,
right?
Current, you know, like they say, current Kim K is upset when her child gets on a game and sees an advertisement for Kim K's new sex tape. Then she wants to go and cry.
And that's
but you weren't crying when you signed on the bottom line, cash the check.
And that's what it is. That's what.
But now because it's embarrassing. Embarrassing. And
it's a sad state of affairs.
It's a sad state of affairs.
I tell any young person, man, don't make a mistake today that can chase you tomorrow.
Yeah. And you know, there was one thing that I saw this video of Kim Kardashian. She's somewhere in like a SUV or a van. She's in a car being driven, and she's talking to one of her children, and she's trying to explain to them what their father does, like Kanye. And so she's like, oh, well, daddy is a singer and a songwriter, and he's an artist, and he owns a clothing company and all these different things. And the child's like, well, what do you do, mommy? And she's like, well, mommy has a lot of nice talents. This is literally what she said.
I'm just Kim.
But again, when you connect the dots, let me get in frame. When you connect the dots from RayJay to Kanye,
everything in between.
But look at the methods and the motivation.
Wow.
And that's what gives you the message.
Yeah.
Cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale.
But speaking of artists that peaked in the early 2000s and we haven't talked about in a long time, Britney Spears.
Dig her up.
Britney Spears now says she's an atheist.
Yeah.
According to the Christian Post, pop superstar Britney Spears making headlines again, this time for declaring she no longer believes in God. And basically because life is lifing. She's upset. She's big mad, saying she's upset, and she rattled off a list of the financial obligations that she now has, including paying her mother's legal fees. She sends $40,000 a month to her ex-husband. She was under the conservatorship. So she's only recently, within the past, couple years, handled her own financial affairs.
Wow.
So think about that. I mean, she's gone, how old is she, 41?
Right.
She's 40-ish. So imagine going 35 years in life and you never had to worry about nor handle money.
Right. Right.
But, I mean, to quote one of her songs, she's not that innocent.
Not that innocent.
Not that innocent.
But here's what's puzzling to me, and I guess these are direct quotes from the interview that she had with Kevin Federline, her ex-husband, of which I used to love watching them early on when they first got married. There's nothing to believe in anymore.
Right.
So basically basing her beliefs on her condition. There's nothing to believe in anymore. I'm an atheist, y'all. Spears said at the end of a 3-minute rant to her son, Jayden, where she rattled off a list of financial obligations.
Which is part of just that, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And again, so she's basing her beliefs on where she is.
Right.
And those of us that believe know that if you're going to do that, you're going to be a up and down mess.
Right.
Because,
because whenever you're out there collecting the checks, trying to collect the little golden statues, you believed in God then. But see, we cannot have your faith needs to be built on facts, not feelings.
Right.
You're not always going to have the quiver shiver, Yeah. You're not always going to have the warm fuzzies at all times. There's going to be rough times in life. But to me and to the believer, it's when you're at those low points that you feel his presence even more.
Wow. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's in the valley that you become more acquainted with the shepherd.
And I believe everybody in our culture knows it well. This unknown author that writes, life as a walk on the beach. And he looks back at a certain point and he sees one set of footprints in the sand. He has this discussion with God, and God says, well, it was in those times when I carried you. We know in the darkest moments, those moments draw you closer, not farther. You know what I'm saying? So she writes, this is crazy, but she writes, she says this: God would not have allowed these things to happen to me if God exists. I don't believe in God anymore because of the way my children and my family have treated me. So you're basing your belief in God based on people's actions towards you.
Right.
Yeah, just I get it. I feel sorry for her, but
and she was raised in the Southern Baptist.
And
an SBC church.
Yeah, good Christian girl. Good Christian girl, but again,
this is what happens when you're not trained and discipled in order to come to know the scriptures for yourself. Then you're blown
right
by every wind.
Right. So so when Britney had millions and millions and millions of dollars, should she have believed God more?
Should she have, or did she?
Should she have? Because
she shouldn't have. But
so
she
now
did.
you don't believe that he exists because you're having some hardship.
Correct.
What about when you were doing well?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. She obviously hadn't read the book of Job.
Amen. All of life is borrowed.
You know,
God gives, God takes away.
mm-hmm.
The only thing that stays the same is his name.
There you go.
Blessed be his name. I get it, but Britney is in the words of my grandmother, her sounds like her cheese is sliding off her.
Now watch this.
Off her cracker.
Cheese off the cracker. So, but 3 days prior to this interview, she had an Instagram post that mentioned her faith in God, stating, "I'm a child of God as well. We are all in God's eyes." So something happened. Now here's the deal. A lot can happen in 3 days, right?
The difference between a Friday night and a Sunday morning.
And I don't even have to. The organ already tuned up in your head.
Put me in E flat.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
And so,
wow.
but yeah, a lot can happen in 3 days.
Wow. I feel sorry for it because it sounds.
I do.
Like
my heart does go out to her.
Yeah, it sounds like she's just having a mental break.
She is.
I don't believe she's an atheist. I just believe she's having a hard time.
Well, but here's the deal. This happens a lot, though.
Right.
This happens a lot. There's a crisis of faith when your faith is built on culture and circumstance than Christ.
Right.
So the thing is that I hope that if she has saving faith, then she can't fall away. She'll come back to it. Does that make sense? But pray for Britney Spears. I mean, she may be going through a rough and tough time where she feels like she's not connected and protected.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
And I hope that there's someone that could come into her life and show her in God's word, hey, not possible.
Hey, after suffering a little while.
Yeah.
He's only trying to establish you, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm trying to stand.
Shall we accept good?
Right.
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 You got to take the bitter with the better.
Yes, sir.
But it's but I mean, it's not, it shouldn't be a surprise. You had a meteoric rise.
Right.
You had a hard fall, and now you're trying to put the pieces back together. But, I would just say that, this is a time to run towards God.
Right. And not away.
Because you're still blessed.
Right.
You're still a millionaire, you're still a multi-millionaire. Right. You have family, you have your health, physically. Now we just need to work on, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, being healthy.
Getting you back to the place, right?
Yeah.
Right. The fact that you can pay somebody $40,000 a month is a blessing.
Right. Every month. Without a sweat.
There's some people that don't make $40,000
in a year. Exactly.
Just put things in proper perspective.
Yes.
Put them in proper perspective. Don't, often, I'm gonna say this and we can move, but often when we don't view, and this sounds very sermonic, I hate to go this, but when we don't view God's power in its right perspective,
yes,
we'll always maximize our problems or minimize his provision. That
yes, sir.
And it's just all about sometimes just seeing him for who he is. So I pray that she can talk to somebody that can help her put the pieces back together again, and she's not dead set on this atheist stuff. So
right.
There's some good news.
Good news.
Good news. I take it to be good news.
I do too.
Yeah, and which it's good. So David Emmanuel Goatley is the named new president of Fuller Seminary, which I think is a good move for Fuller. The student dynamic is changing at Fuller. Matter of fact, I have a couple friends that are newly enrolled students at Fuller. So
which they do have a Houston campus.
Absolutely.
They do have a Houston campus.
Absolutely. And this is going to drive student enrollment up.
Oh, yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
African-American, president at one of the top-ish seminaries.
We just say a major seminary.
Yeah, a major seminary. I would put them in the top 10%.
They're a major seminary.
Top 25% or so seminaries in our country. And so to see them make this move, especially now, with so much going on culturally.
Yes.
That which is a good move. And so congratulations to Mr. Goatley, Dr. Goatley, and congratulations to Fuller and its leadership for making this move. The sixth president of Fuller Seminary, African American man, David Emmanuel Goatley. So congratulations to both Fuller and Dr. Goatley.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's
I
good
put that
to see.
one. I put that one there to kind of give you a little bit.
It's good news
before our next segment.
It's good news, but it doesn't begin.
I knew it.
To right the wrong of this final little piece